invitation for other ladies here seated to join the CWL here in our parish to live your faith. It's an invitation. So if you are interested, kindly meet with any of those ladies wearing the blue sash as to how to join the CWL here in our parish. May I now invite our 4 young people who represent. Please come.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Karen, and the 3 individuals beside me are Emanuela, Nancy, and Edwin. We are honored to have been called to be pilgrims representing St. John Bosco Parish during this year's World Youth Day and Days of the Diocese 2023. Today, we hope to share with you some of the spiritual and cultural lessons that we have gained throughout this life-changing pilgrimage. Could we go to the next slide? Thanks, Ronan. We begin with an explanation of what exactly World Youth Day and Days of the Diocese is. Next slide. Sorry. Days of the Diocese occurs 1 week prior to the greater World Youth Day experience. Registered pilgrims are assigned a given region of the host country to introduce themselves to the local culture as well as the diocese. During July 25th to 31st, the St. John Bosco pilgrims, as well as other Edmonton pilgrims that we were assigned with, were in Faro, Portugal. Here we had the opportunity to explore local culture through our interactions with the local people, attempting to use the language to communicate, and even attending local events such as the Seafood Festival. We also explored the beautiful location of Faro through its cobblestone roads to its coast. It was a wonderful precursor to the larger World Youth Day as we interacted with pilgrims from around the world who were also assigned to Faro. We prayed together, often in multilingual masses, passed each other on the streets, and also got to know them better in the International Joint Mass on July 30th. World Youth Day was held 1 train ride over to Lisbon, Portugal. For 7 days, we had the opportunity to interact with people from around the world on a larger scale, walking the streets of Lisbon. Similar to Faro, we also explored the local sites and cuisines of Lisbon, which is made easy by the kindness of its locals, our fellow international pilgrims, and the reservation of the streets for the international event. But we gained religious enlightenment through catechism and rise-up encounters, praying together in multiple languages for our Stations of the Cross Masses, welcoming and opening Masses for ourselves and the Holy Father, Pope Francis, ending the week with an overnight vigil of about 2 million international participants. We also had the opportunity to partake in adoration through various cathedrals and churches in Lisbon. A particular highlight throughout this week were our visits to the city of Fatima and the exploration of the shrines within the city.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Emanuela, and I'll be talking to you about the spiritual lessons we got during the World Youth Day. As youths and young adults, it was encouraging and mind-blowing to see over 1.5 million young people like ourselves from all parts of the world gather to praise the Lord, gather to express our faith in a time where we are experiencing a throwaway culture. Like Jesus said, for when 2 or more are gathered in my name, I am there. So we definitely felt the presence of God while praying together. We also had the opportunity to visit Fatima, and I must say it wasn't as easy as we missed our stop the first time. This did not stop us as it took us 2 more attempts to go spend time with Our Lady of Fatima. It was a great experience as we got to offer our intentions at the chapel of the apparition and participate in saying the rosary on our knees round the marble slab, which was originally the tree of Our Lady, which was originally the tree Our Lady appeared on, but now stands her statue. We got to witness youths and young adults like ourselves crawl on their knees to the chapel of apparitions while saying the rosary in the scorching sun. One of my highlights is the Mass, the International Mass we had on the 30th of July in the Faro Stadium. The Mass was great, and what made it special was that we got to say the Lord's Prayer in our various languages. This was really special. Everyone could hear their languages being spoken. We were reminded of how universal the church is, which added more meaning to why we recite the creed. On the last day of World Youth Day, which also happened to be my birthday and the Feast of the Transfiguration, we had the opportunity to join the Pope as he celebrated Mass. As youths, he advised us to not be afraid and to love like Jesus did, for the love of Christ is free. Like Jesus, he wanted us to love like Jesus, which makes us luminous, and that leads us to do works of love. He urged us to shine, to listen, and to be unafraid.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nancy, and I'm thrilled to share with you about the cultural lessons we learned on our trip to Portugal. Our journey began in Faro, where we were greeted with the most beautiful weather, with sun shining every single day. And we were introduced to some of the countries who would later participate at World Youth Day. The beauty of Faro lies in all the unique buildings, plants, beaches, and the charming streets and walkways. We quickly realized why so many people came to visit this wonderful place so often. And amidst this beauty, we encountered so many unfamiliar things, like the stylized, and we even encountered some rather interesting insects, which surprised us quite often. Next, please. You could sense that Faro is a truly holy place from all the beautiful artwork and statues, especially in the churches. Meeting people from all the countries during Days of the Diocese, we witnessed the excitement and joy of being in such a sacred place. Everyone expressed their faith through language, dance, and music. The streets came alive with the sounds of the French singing, the Spanish playing their instruments, and our friends from Denmark with their speakers. These interactions made celebrating our faith in Faro a true experience. During our time, we also met the mayor and archbishop, who introduced us to the city and the people. We were able to explore this extraordinary space. We were able to celebrate Mass with all the priests who came along in different languages and with unique styles. Some days it was joyous and lively, and other days it was quiet and solemn. Each day, all the countries took turns leading the choir, and we embraced the beauty of various languages, instruments, and a cappella renditions. And of course, Faro wouldn't have been complete without spending time with our Archbishop Richard Smith. And we carried all the lessons we learned into the next part of our journey in Lisbon. Next, please. Lisbon was a completely different chapter of this trip. It was louder and more vibrant, and it was the place where we saw all the countries at once. The city was adorned with holy symbols, making it feel like a new place to do the things we usually do, like adoration, confession, and praying the rosary. Everywhere you looked, you could see the pride and faith of each nation displayed through their flags, t-shirts, and backpacks. It was really overwhelming, but if you listened closely, you could hear everyone chanting and calling for the Pope, each in their language, yet united. Mass felt like a celebration each time, and we were blessed as a group to witness the Pope every single day as he visited the Basilica and drove around for Mass. Journeying to Portugal has been an experience that's changed our perspective on celebrating faith, and I hope that at the next World Youth Day, youth feel just as welcome to rediscover their faith in the arms of another culture.
Hello everyone, my name is Edwin, and I'll be talking about meeting new people there and some of our highlights. So growing up as a young Catholic and seeing all of your friends partake in secular activities and not following the word of God, it slowly weakens your own resolve. But at World Youth Day, when you see over 1 million young Catholics just worshiping and praising Christ, it strengthens your faith. Seeing that it's not just you, and seeing that there are millions of young Catholics worshiping Christ, that they're not following the norms of society, it was truly eye-opening. Then being able to talk with these individuals with like minds, making friends with them, sharing culture, sharing languages, was great. I made lots of friends. I made good friends with some guys. Now, we did have many highlights, and I'd like to share Emmanuel's birthday, as it was one of our memorable nights. So it was decided that we were going to the beach, watch the sunset, and enjoy the night. But a few certain individuals, I'm not naming who, they all took a little too long to get ready. So by the time we got to the beach, the sunset was gone. It was pitch black. But we were not going to let the night go to waste. So we took out our flashlights on our phone. We made it down to the shore. Then we realized we forgot to bring a towel to put a cake, light the candles. But Nancy here did buy a dress or a shawl from one of those local stores, so we convinced her, let's use this as the towel. So we put the cake on top of that. We lit the candles, started singing happy birthday. We were about to eat the cake. And the next thing I hear is 3 high-pitched screams. And I look at them, they all ran away. So turns out all the light we had tracked these little white bugs. It's like as big as your thumb, right? So they were jumping all over us onto the cake. So they left me stranded. So I had to pick up all their mess. And remember the shawl that I told you guys about earlier? Because I was the last person to leave. It was my duty to bring it back, and I forgot about it. So that was one of our best nights, I would say. It was a very memorable experience. Yeah. Next.
Sorry. So that is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you as well to Nancy, Emanuela, and Edwin. I wanted to extend our thanks to some very special people who have helped us prepare for this really incredible life. Thank you to Father Raja for calling us to this journey. Thank you to Shelley and Joyce, our administration, for helping us arrange all the details and some of the fundraising. And thank you to Juliana. Is she in the audience? Thank you so much to Juliana, who has helped us prepare spiritually for our journey. The next World Youth Day and Days of the Diocese takes place in South Korea, Seoul, in 2027. We wanted to inspire the fellow youth and young adults of this parish to come join us in this next journey by leaving with some parting advice.
I recommend everyone to take pictures and talk to as much people as you guys could see.
I recommend you to have no expectations and go with an open mind.
I recommend that you be very thoughtful when packing. This is a pilgrimage, and pack just enough to be fully present on this trip.
And my advice is to stay organized. There's a lot of opportunities for you to celebrate your faith and get to know the culture. Be intentional with the activities that you choose, and go with an open mind. Thank you again. Have a good day.
They make me feel so jealous. As pastor, I should have accompanied them. They didn't want me. I hope next group will take me at least as their leader.